A title: Training Other Professionals on Abuse in Later Life. Bonnie Brandl, Director, National Clearinghouse on Abuse in Later Life, End Domestic Abuse, Wisconsin.
I think there are a number of great professionals that can be trained on domestic violence and sexual assault in later life and would truly benefit from this training. I would start by thinking about the folks who would potentially identify abuse in later life, and so thinking about healthcare providers, the faith community, civil attorneys, elder lawyers. They may be working with older adults and may identify some abuse in later life. And finally, in that category, of course, is the Aging Services Network that are working with older adults in many ways, know a lot about aging and working with older adults, and maybe less about trauma, domestic violence, and sexual assault. Then the second category that I think is important are the other folks who are responding: law enforcement, adult protective services, again, maybe civil attorneys working these cases as well, but that the folks on the front lines who are going to be working on a more day-to-day basis with older victims, making sure that we're learning from those professionals about neglect and financial exploitation, and bringing our expertise of domestic violence and sexual assault to the table. And then finally, there's some other folks that maybe we don't think of as often, but could be great to train. So for example, the Humane Society or organizations that work with animals or pets. We know for many older adults, animals or pets are really an important resource in their life. They love their pet. They maybe are going to make many of their primary decisions about what they're going to do based on being able to take care of that pet. And so linking with folks that are working in the animal safety world, I think, can be crucial. I think thinking about facilities and hospice is another group that maybe we don't train nearly enough, but we know stories of perpetrators who have gone into facilities and domestic violence that has continued even when she's moved into a nursing home or assisted living. He comes in and closes the door. So alerting those staff to those kinds of situations.
Karla Vierthaler, Lifespan Project Manager, National Sexual Violence Resource Center.
The other thing I think would be very helpful is doing some work with community providers, so older adult protective services, care facilities, in-home care providers, and talking to them certainly about sexual violence, but also talking to them about trauma-informed care, asking them how they feel about touch and being mindful of how a person provides care to an individual, needs to be cognizant of the empowerment model and asking a person, checking in with a person, trying to be as gentle as possible, asking permission. We know that elder victims don't generally reach out to rape crisis centers. Usually they come in contact with rape crisis centers through an outside entity. So perhaps the crime was reported to Adult Protective Services, and then Adult Protective Services refers the individual to rape crisis centers. Or a facility chooses to post the rape crisis center's information elsewhere and does a referral when a report is made in a facility. So really making sure that the potential first contact for an individual when either someone finds out about the abuse or the elder reports the abuse, that individual or community responder is trauma informed on how to respond to sexual violence.
Logos appear: NCALL, www.ncall.us, Terra Nova Films, terranova.org. Funded by the U.S. Department of Justice, Office on Violence Against Women and Elder Justice Initiative, www.justice.gov/elderjustice. A disclaimer: this project was supported by grant number 2014 AXTA K050, awarded by the Office on Violence Against Women and by the Elder Justice Initiative, U.S. Department of Justice. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this program are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Justice, Office on Violence Against Women, or the Elder Justice Initiative.